must be finding it useful, and then word of mouth publicity happens, and as a result of that, every new cohort we have more learners in this program, and not only it benefits people in every part of the country, but some of them may be from outside of India also.
जी, जी,
This digital technology is really a game changer in this time when you are really able to reach. Uh, you can fulfill the mission of inclusive education. I
yes sir.
was talking to somebody yesterday, so he was asking me, sir, what is the way to have cost effective and inclusive education? So I simply said that online education is the most cost effective. The learners pay almost peanuts for getting these certificates in these programs, and as well as it is inclusive. There is no criteria that you are a student of IIT or you are a student of a private college or you are urban or rural, you are in metros or you are in rural area. So there is no classification that way. And what better inclusive education can be there than this type of online education?
Thank you, sir. It's all because of your support and mentorship. We could start this aspect of online learning, especially after 2017. So before we formally commence, I would like to let all people know that meeting is being recorded. It's my duty to let you know that we are recording the meeting, and then it will be the part of the course content, so that the people who are unable to attend the meeting can get the essence of whatever we have discussed in the meeting. So first of all, sir, मैं start करना चाहूँगा आपके permission से. इसके
Yes, please go ahead.
just a formal starting. Uh, mm, so dear, एक मिनट सर मैं कर रहा हूँ start बस. हम्म. So friends, yes, academic writing MOOC, the 9th cycle, with more than 8,500 learners. Welcome you all. Welcome all the learners in this particular cycle, and we have come to the closer of this particular cycle of learning, especially with respect to the content, because the learning cannot end with the lifelong learning. The life is all about the learning in the entire life itself. So friends, today we have with us Professor Rajat Agrawal, the management guru from IIT Roorkee. As you might have enjoyed, and you have enjoyed rather, especially the 2 week content by the Professor Rajat Agrawal. We are proud to have his not only the mentorship but also the support as a subject matter expert in the in the incubation of the idea of this particular MOOC, right from the beginning to the end, and even for almost for every cycle we get his support for live session, at least for the for answering the queries. So Professor Rajat Agrawal is head Department of Management Studies. He's heading the Department of Management Studies of IIT Roorkee, one of the premier institute of our country, Bharat, और QS रैंकिंग में, NRF रैंकिंग में, और प्रतिष्ठित संस्थान IIT रुड़की, और उसमें भी डिपार्टमेंट ऑफ मैनेजमेंट स्टडीज को हेड कर रहे हैं, साथ में IPR चेयर को भी देख रहे हैं. तो मैं स्वागत करता हूं अपनी संपूर्ण टीम के साथ डॉक्टर मुकेश पांडे, और मेरे समस्त लर्नर्स की ओर से मैं प्रोफेसर रजत अग्रवाल जी का हार्दिक स्वागत करता हूं. वार्म वेलकम सर. एंड दिस इज just to let you know that we have started, the NTA have started the exam registration. So the students are very much curious about the exam registration, and we are getting a very good response in exam registration. And sir, this is also to let you know that in most of the cycle we have been in top 5 ranks in the exam registration, and almost last time it was 1,500. examination for this particular academic writing MOOC, and we are hoping that in this cycle also we'll get the wonderful exam registration numbers. We have also, dear students, before we begin with the formal live session and the address of Professor Rajat Agrawal, 2-3 things I would like to clarify. Number one, examination window is open, and TA, go to your dashboard. The self-explanatory video has also been released, and it has been landed to your emails and the announcement. We have clarified the overall examination process. Please do enroll for examination from the same email from which you are registered in this particular course as a learner, first of all. Secondly, please don't try to register for, even you can't register for same slot on the same day. So you have to prioritize for which course you want to go for the certification. Okay. Next, the most common query is your as far as the assignment question marks are concerned. They are going to be available, friends, on May 1st, because the due date of submission is 30th April. If you have not submitted the assignment, the last date is 30th April. If you won't score at least 40%, you won't be able to get the certificate. So please do complete all your weekly assessment. Okay. And as far as earliest, as far as the examination concerned, you must complete all the formalities at earliest, because at the end time or the closer time, the most of the time the system is very heavy, and you are unable to pay the fees, or some issues may be there. Okay. And please do consult the NTA for if you are facing any problem regarding that, and because NTA, the email ID and phone numbers are given to you. So with this brief information, which we are constantly and continuously informing you in the announcement itself, so please do see announcement and the discussion forum before going for any query and questioning to our team. So as we have invited our guest, Professor Rajat Agrawal, our team member, subject matter expert for academic writing MOOC, the proud subject matter expert with us. So friends, I would like to invite Professor Rajat for his address with respect to space, because we have in many live sessions we have discussed and focused in the sciences, life sciences, biosciences maybe, and this is time for the ACL, the arts, commerce, and languages, which may be the management, commerce, economics, and related subjects, for how unique this targeting is with respect to his domain, with respect to the expertise. We will also discuss some other queries, either from you, or we will be putting the queries before Professor Rajat. So Rajat sir, warm welcome, and over to you. And I have make you the presenter also. If you want to show any website also, so you can also share your screen, please sir.
Thank you, Dr. Ajay ji, for warm introduction. Shri Mukesh ji, the teaching associate for this very important course, and all dear learners, because you may come from different backgrounds. Already some of you may be the faculty members in different colleges. Some may be doing PhDs. Some may be doing their MSCs also, or MCom, MBA programs also. So these online programs, when we have such a huge cohort size, we get students, we get learners from different majority. The course is also on about academic writing. There are different ways of academic writing in this entire program you were exposed. But most of us, most of the time, are more concerned about academic writing in the form of research papers. Yesterday only, that was Saturday, in my office, I got a faculty member from a private university And she came to me that, sir, I am completing fourth year of my PhD. I have completed all the data collection. Now my university says that you have to publish two Scopus indexed papers minimum to submit the thesis. I am submitting the papers in different journals. Sometime I am getting desk rejections, and sometime I am getting rejections after the one round of review. And now it is 4 years, and I'm feeling anxiety that without my publications, I will not be able to submit the thesis, and it is going to affect my future prospects also. So this type of story is not this standalone story. It may be the story of many of us, because we may be submitting papers, and sometimes we have to compromise with the quality of journals also. Let me tell you that why do we do publications, and why is it necessary to do publications? I believe all of us are from academic fraternity. So one of the answer which most of you can give, that we do publications for our career. We don't want to do publications, but because it is required to become assistant professor, these are required to get associate professorship, these are required for professorship, these are required for HAG grade in the professorship. So we are doing publications only because these are mandatory for our progression. There is no fun in doing the publication. But on the other side, some of you may also raise your hands that we want to do publication because this is a very joyful experience. We do publications, we do research because this is very joyful experience. If I ask out of all of you, how many of you feel that research is a enjoyable experience? It's a joyful activity. It's not a burden on us.
Me, sir, Siddharth Shekhar. It's very, very
Siddharthi,
exciting. Yes, sir.
Chetna is saying,
Yes, Siddharth,
who?
please.
Who
Siddharth
of
first.
you believe
Because
out of
research gives you a better clarity than the whatever in the on a shallow level. Uh, right now, sir, I am working in Dainik Bhaskar, so I know the how the research is going perfectly. It gives you a new kind of view.
yes? So Siddharth ji feels that yes, we do research to understand new paradigms, to unravel some of the mysteries. There are so many mysteries around us, and we want to unravel those mysteries. And for that purpose, research is required. So we all do
Even
research.
sir,
Yes, Siddharth, you बताइए.
sorry sir to interrupt you, but even मैंने देखा है कि when you do the research on the on ground level, you get a new perspective which AI cannot give you.
जी. Yes, बिल्कुल ठीक. Now, when we do research, we also want to share this research with others so that they do not reinvent the wheel. The purpose of the publication is that whatever knowledge I have generated, whatever knowledge I have gained through my research, if others will also do the same research, the society will not move forward. So we will keep doing the same research again and again. So therefore, I think there are people who are writing in the chat. I may
Yes,
not
sir.
be able to track the
Sir,
chat in the
we are
live
seeing
session.
it.
So
We
I
will,
request
we will put
Mukesh
it.
ji. So Mukesh ji can track the chat, and if there is a message in the chat which requires my attention, please let me know.
Sure, sir.
Thank
Yes,
you.
sir. Sure, sir.
Yeah. So what I was saying that we have to do publications to share our research with the world so that every other researcher can make additional iota contribution Otherwise, we all will be doing the same amount of research again and again. You will do in Srinagar, I will do the same research in Roorkee, somebody else will do the same research in Africa, and somebody else will do the same research in Europe and America and Japan, like that. So only when something you have done, you write, you publish, then people will know that, okay, this knowledge is now available. I have to move some centimeter, some millimeter, some nanometer ahead of this, and then something new will come. How the society is progressing only because systematic knowledge is being documented, and every second scientist will like to go something additional to the existing knowledge. So therefore, publication becomes very, very important. And during the course, you must have come across that in some good journals, typically every year journals receive from 100 to thousands of papers. And in these good journals, I'm not saying any particular class of journal, but journals which are good means whether they are indexed in Web of Science, they are in FT50, or they are in ABDC, they are in IEEE databases. So I'm talking of those types of journals. So their acceptance rates are typically between 5% to 30%. So you can understand that a large amount of papers are coming and the acceptance rates are very low as compared to the inflow. And I can also give, there is no, you can say, exact reference for this. But based on my experience, Dr. Semilty will also endorse that around 50% of the papers are rejected without review, which we call as test rejections.
Test rejection. Yeah.
And around 45% of the papers are rejected after first round of review. And around only 5% of the papers are rejected after the revision. So you see, first important task as a researcher, as a writer, is that to cross the desk of the editor, because 50% of the papers are getting rejected at that stage itself. So if your paper has reached to R&R stage, that means you have crossed the first, you can say, milestone in your journey of publication. And then obviously another possibility is after review. So there is a opportunity that you make your revision up to the mark. Because if you are making your revision up to the mark, only 5% of the papers are getting rejected. So once you get the review comments, it is very, very likely that you will get your paper accepted, and there are very little chances of rejecting that paper. In the entire journey of publication, you must have discussed time and again during the course that you submit the paper, you get the acceptance of multiple stages in that process is there. First, you will get the review, some comments will come, you will submit the response of those comments, and maybe you will understand those comments in a better way, and you will think that my paper may not be suitable for this particular journal, and let me try a different outlet for my paper. So all these things are the part of your publication process. So I'm not going to repeat that. With my experience, I would like to give you some kind of a generic points which may help you in your writing journey, in your publication journey. First important takeaway I will like to say that you should read as many papers as possible. Generally, we have very limited reading of the papers, and therefore I will say that you should read every type of paper. Generally, in our classes, we say that read only from top ranking journals. But it is also equally important to differentiate between a good paper and a bad paper. So therefore, I will say that you should read good ones also and bad ones also, so that you yourself can understand that how to differentiate between the quality of a good journal and not so good journal. And so therefore, you should have a taste of both the things. If you go to only a particular type of shop and you do not go other shop, you will not be able to understand whether it is a good taste I am enjoying or a bad taste I am enjoying. So if we are only going through open access journals and we have never got a chance of reading Q1 category journals, because in this course we may be from sciences, from commerce, from management, from engineering. We have a mixed cohort in this batch. So therefore, I'm saying that you should read one or two uh, those journals also, which we call as predatory journals, where you can get your paper published without review. And you should read Q1 category journals also, and then you will see that how two papers are quite different in their quality. So that is very important. These days, AI is coming in a big way. So yes, we should certainly take benefit of AI in improving our manuscripts. But I will certainly request all of you, you should write frequently. If you are also a faculty member who is guiding the PhD thesis, even for you also, it is very important to write on your own. So write frequently, practice, practice, and again practice. That is going to help you in improving the quality of uh, your publication, quality of your academic writing. So there is no substitute of writing passionately. So your frequency of writing, uh, I request all of you to try at least one research paper to be published every year as a single author. That is very, very important. Why? Sometime when you go to a interview and you have all the papers available with you, where multiple uh, co-authors are there. So interview board will ask you, you cannot write as a sole author, and you only work in the team. And then sometime you have to justify your contribution if there are many authors in that paper. On the other side, if you have oral papers which are where you are only the author and there are nobody in your list of co-authors, then also interview board will ask you that you are not a team player. So therefore, you need to have every type of arsenal in your basket. You need to have one or two papers coming regularly as sole author, and every year 2 3 papers with some other team members, your research scholars, or your lab mates, or your colleagues, or anything else. So you need to see that that is only possible when you are writing frequently. You also need to do one more thing. If you are students, for faculty it may be slightly difficult, because we as a faculty may also have some kind of ego issue, so that may not be possible. But when you write, before submitting your papers to journals, you can take help of your other friends to review your paper. What you have written, you should ask your colleagues, your friends to review that. And not only review, ask them to review very critically. You ask them that try to find as many mistakes in that paper. So rather getting a desk rejection, you ask your friend to become a very critical reviewer and reviewer for your paper, and this will help you. Those feedback will help you to improve your manuscript before you actually submit to any journal. If possible, uh, may not be very early in the stage, but later in the stage, you should become critic of your own work also. We may develop this kind of, you can say, approach that can I ask question in my own work. I generally give this task to my PhD students that once they complete their PhD, I ask them that you should create a list of questions. You should make an inventory of questions from your own thesis. That these type of questions can be asked from my thesis, maybe 20, 25, 30, 40 questions. And first you frame questions on your thesis, and then you form answers also, create answers also. Because you have to go to interviews for faculty position in different institutions. So you know that what type of questions people can ask from your thesis and create answers for that. If you can do this homework, once you go to the interview, there will be no surprises for you. But we don't do. We feel that whatever work we have done, whatever thesis we have written, it is complete. There can be no question on that. And with this confidence, when we go to interview world, many surprises happen to us. And so you need to be on the devil side for your own benefit, and that will help you in improving your writing skill. Not only writing skill, what you have written from your research experience, how to present that, that will also become very important. If you have any question, what I have just spoken, please feel free to ask, because later on we may miss some of the thoughts. I'm going to give you all these very generic pointers to help you improve your writing skills and targeting a good journal, and not only targeting the good journal, but how to use your writing skills for your complete benefit, because publication is one benefit, but other than publication, you have to explain your papers in front of the committees, in front of the interview boards, etc. So all those things we are thinking to cover in this session. So if you have any question so far what we have discussed, uh, please
Sir,
feel
I
free
have
to
a
ask.
query. With respect to the journals specifically, because we have discussed lot many things with respect to sciences and technology, engineering, biomedical, and other things, and little bit of management and commerce aspect. So I just humbly request you to give some light, put some light on the standard journals and the which kind of ranking or classification we are, we are seeking in the top journals or good journals or quality journals with respect to the management studies, with respect to the research on the economics, commerce, management, social sciences. So what kind of journals? Because in most of the cases, because SCI is not there, and it is very hard to get, many times it is very hard to get specifically Web of Science Index Journal or SCI Index Journal. So what next? Apart from SCI, Web of Science, or impact factor, maybe say, what other things we should look upon on a suitable journal, or targeting a particular journal for social sciences or management?
So, for the benefit of the audience, to make a very crisp answer of this question, in management field in our country, the most respected ranking which we follow to target a suitable journal is ABDC. So this ABDC ranking is the most respected ranking, and ABDC is classifying journals into four categories: A star, A, B, and C. So ideally, everybody should try to target A star or A category of journals. But for a new researcher, if he or she is able to publish any paper in C category journal in ABDC, that is also quite a good respect, because considering a paper in ABDC listed journal itself is a big achievement. So that is one level. Some of us who are thinking of publishing in really very top ranking journals, so then there is another premium ranking which is available, which is known as FT50, which is published by Financial Times. So only 50 journals are there, and they don't classify these journals. So all journals are given equal weightage in that FT50 classification scheme, and that is the best in the world. So FT50 and ABDC, these are the two most popular rankings where students of science, commerce, economics, management, or I will say social science. So students of social science should target. Now there are one more issue. In India, there can be some good journals which may not be the part of ABDC or FT50. But then we can see these journals that what is the source of these journals. For example, in India, few IIMs are publishing their journals. For example, IIM Ahmedabad is publishing Vikalpa. IIM Bangalore is publishing IIM Bangalore Management Review. So these type of journals may not be very high ranking in ABDC or FT. They are not in FT50 also. But these journals are also having a lot of respect because of the place of origin in our country. So if I want to be more India specific, so these journals are also considered to be very good journals which are coming from good reputed. Similarly, IIT Delhi also has some journals. IIT Bombay also has journals. And let me tell for the interest of audience that these journals which are coming from Indian institutions like IIM Ahmedabad, IIM Bangalore, IIT Delhi, IIT Bombay, etc., these journals are not domain specific. So they may take paper of human resource management also. They may take papers on Indian economics also. They may take paper on rural development also. They may take paper on entrepreneurship also. They may take paper on supply chain management also. They may take paper on information systems also. So these journals are having a wider scope of accepting the paper. And probably this is the reason that these journals are not able to get a very high ranking in FT50 or ABDC because these are not so focused on a particular subject matter. For getting a very high ranking in the indexing, learners should know that you need to have a very sharp focus. But considering in India, we do not have so many good journals available which are coming from Indian institutions. So whether we talk of Vikalpa, whether we talk of IMB review, or we are talking Journal of Competitiveness, whether we are talking Flexible System Management Journal, etc., all these journals are not so rigid with respect to their scope. They have a very wide scope, and I request our learners to take benefit of these journals which are coming from Indian context, Indian institutions, and chances of getting the acceptance will be much higher because though the review board is across the globe, but at least you will have the some of the reviewers, some of the members in the editorial board who are from Indian institutions. So they may have some kind of understanding the type of research from where you are coming. So that is the answer of the question which was raised by
one point
Dr.
I want to also like thank you, sir. Wonderful explanation. ABDC list, and I've also shared the links of every ABDC, FT50, and IIM journals, IIM Bangalore, IIM Ahmedabad journals in the chat box too for our learners. In meanwhile, and just my experience with respect to I studied the impact of online courses, especially the Swayam MOOCs, on the Indian education scenario, and statistically, I was studying the that how well a particular course is performing and what are the impacts, what are the various parameters. So I studied around 500 plus online courses. I prepared a paper. I floated a wonderful study, that wonderful study with lots of statistical parameters, other things. But what they said, Your studies are specific to India, so we cannot accept it. So there's a this most of the time when we are talking about social sciences, we are talking about our own society. In generally, the international perspective, they don't look specifically until their interest is on that particular topic. So when we are talking on our own issues, own institution, own education, own problems, so many times they are not interested to hear that, and they clearly said that your problem is only for Indian perspective or a localized perspective, so we cannot have your paper. So what I did, I just focused on the AIU journal, that is University News, and I published that particular article because at least the reach was there with respect to that thing. I think many times when we are talking about our localized issues, in particular research in social sciences, this
Simultaneously,
might
I
be
will have
scenario.
slightly different perspective because I meet a large number of editors of different journals.
Hmm.
And since India is a very huge population, and not only population, a very important market for large number of MNCs. And therefore, they want to know more and more about our society. They want to know the consumer behavior of our society. They want to know the unique supply chains we have in our society. They want to know what type of advertisement programs will help them in India. So they are actually more curious to know about India. But the problem is sometimes we do not have enough theoretical backing for what we are concluding. And so if there is a proper rigor available in our research, so everywhere you see, they are loving to have more and more Indian context related papers. But yes, if the paper is extremely localized, if you have collected data only from, let's say, one district, and you want to publish that in some global journal, here it comes a challenge. So, because one district cannot represent the whole India, one taluka cannot represent the whole India. So, you need to have some bigger sample. And if the data is collected from a reasonably bigger sample, uh, I see that there is no doubt that your paper will not be published even best of the journals, because I have examples available. I was having one guest with me today, and they did some research within one academic institution, for example, within the campus of HNP Garhwal University. But the research was conducted very methodically in a very scientific manner. And those papers were published in our field, in management field. One of the FT50 journal is Journal of Management, which is one of the topmost journal in the field. And that paper was published in Journal of Management with the research data collected only from one institution. So you need to have that methodical understanding, scientific acumen also in that research, and then people are ready to accept the papers. There is no doubt in that. The only challenge is whether the enough rigor is there or not there. And for all of you, uh, we have research papers. There is one more form of publication that is known as case study. In our all management colleges, we are teaching through Harvard case studies. Nowadays, in India, we have this challenge. There is some firework happening outside my house. Is it coming to
Sure,
your
sir.
class?
No, sure. No issue, sir. It's okay.
Just wait for 2 seconds. Okay, now
No
it's
issue,
Okay.
sir.
so. India, there are so many new type of startups, new type of failures and success stories are coming up. If students of commerce, economics, and management field can write case studies, so not only the research papers, but case study can also be a very interesting form of academic writing. And you can write case studies. These case studies can be published in Harvard case collection, Ivy case collection, and that can also be a very important source of publication outlet. So case study is a very different kind of a ball game of academic writing. uh, let me assure you that there is a huge need, and Harvard is also looking extensively that more cases are needed from Indian context. Generally, when we write papers, it is no earning from the paper. And if you are publishing in some kind of uh, predatory journals, rather you have to pay for publication. But if you write case study and if your case studies are published in Harvard or Ivy case collections, it can be a source of revenue also for you. You can earn money through your academic writing. So academic writing giving money other than books is very rare. But you can write case studies, and even if you publish case study in, there is a very bigger repository. Some of you may be knowing it also, ECCH. Now, the new name of that ECCH was European Case Clearing House. That was the original name, but now the name has changed. This is the Case Center, and the Case Center is also very popular in our B schools. And if you publish your cases in the Case Center, you will get some royalty as long as others will use your papers. So use your case study for teaching in their classes. So if I'm taking the case study from Case Center or from Harvard, I have to pay something to that. And this is not a big charge. So if I'm using a case from Harvard, I have to pay $3, $4 kind of a thing to Harvard. But you see that people like me across the globe, hundreds of people are using those case studies from Harvard, and that will become a huge source of revenue. Yes, this is the case center Dr. Simility is showing. So you can write cases for this case center also. So this case center as well as Harvard case collection, where you have IV cases. Now in India, a large number of faculty members are writing cases for the case center. If you start browsing the available cases in the case center, you will find many Indians are writing for them. So this can also be, Professor Civility, a good outlet for publication. Uh, you see that already Amiti's name is there. You just saw on the screen that Amity is a very regular contributor to the case collection. And you will find all types of topics where our students of economics, commerce, management, and many other social science related subjects will be available in this case center. So paper as well as cases, both can be a very good way of going for academic writing outlets. So I think this is a wider answer of the questions which were asked by Dr. Semilty and others.
Thank you, sir. Thanks a lot. It's a wonderful.
Thank you.
It's a lot of help. Uh, and with respect to sir, what we were discussing in the last live session, that what are the grant agencies which we should target for the social sciences and management and other perspectives. So we discussed the multidisciplinary research are being offered by almost all the grant providers, irrespective of the subject. Even the DST is providing for the management and social sciences. There is no subject limitation now, but yes, still some of the agencies are very particular about prioritizing the projects from the management, social sciences. So I please put some light on that particular aspect.
So when we talk of granting agencies for funding your research, so as Professor Samilty already said, that even ANRF can provide you research funding for management purpose. And in our institute, we are creating larger project proposals where there can be a component of economics, business, because every research these days require a business model for that research. that what type of business model will be suitable for this research. So there will be a role of commerce faculty, management faculty, economics faculty in all types of interdisciplinary research. But there can be, if it is not possible, that in every institute, because of the nature of the college, the nature of the university, everywhere it may not be possible that you can go for interdisciplinary researches, or you are able to create a larger team. So in that case, the most common, you can say, platform which is available to all of us, that is ICSSR kind of research grants which keep coming regularly to all of us. So ICSSR is a very easily available resource where all the faculty members of humanities, because management is also a kind of extended version of humanities, they may take the help of ICSSR. So that is one easy way. The second important source of funding which may be available to some of us, Ministry of Rural Development and National Commission of Women. These two are also providing a lot of research grants for specific topics related to women and rural development. In fact, there is a current call available from National Commission for Women, because they want to get different topics of women interest to work upon. And if you go to the website of National Commission for Women, so their call is right now open, and you can check that call where our faculty colleagues of commerce, economics, management, etc. can apply. Then the calls which are sometime available from National Mission for Himalayan Studies. So they also want to study different type of socio-economic issues. So they are also a very regular in that. Another important call which is coming from DST's seed division, SEED, seed division. So that seed division is also a very good, because in seed division also they are looking the social empowerment of people through technological interventions. So seed division is also of is kind of a place where our faculty colleagues of all these commerce, economics, and uh, they can apply for the funding. So this is also a very good approach. In fact, because many of our people, colleagues, they are not aware of type of fundings which may be available to us from these kind of divisions. They are not applying here. They only think of UGC, minor project, major project, or ICSSR. So they are also requiring good amount of quality applications. So you can actually link, means use all these different type of so you can go for this e-proposal work with us. So this is where the proposals are required by the NCW on women issues. Very recently this call has come. So these kind of things are there. Then I can also give you BPRND. That is also a very good source, that is under the Ministry of Home Affairs, and this is a Bureau of Police Research, so which is directly taken care by MHA. And BPRND is also BPRND. Yes, yes. So this BPRND is also a very good way to get the and they also look only for right now they look some kind of cyber crime related researches also. So they are funding researches in the field of IT domain also, but largely they are into the management, some type, what type of entrepreneurial researches need to be done, various social science people are always required to them, psychology people, etc., in the field of policing, criminology, and these kind of things. So, in management, particularly faculty colleagues from human resource management background, OD background, marketing background, they are doing a lot of work for BPR&D. So, BPR&D is also a kind of a good place where they can fund researches. So I think these are some of the initial, immediate, you can say, places coming to my mind for various research funding opportunity for our colleagues.
Not audible, sir.
Yes.
Good evening, sir. My one question is that कि एक नए
Yes. Yes.
रिसर्चर होने के नाते कि आपने जो गुड और बैड पेपर्स के बारे में डिस्कस किया, तो वो क्या पॉइंट्स हो सकते हैं जो डिफरेंशिएट करता है एक गुड पेपर को एक बैड पेपर से? एक नए रिसर्चर किस पॉइंट्स को देखे गुड और बैड
Okay.
पेपर को डिफरेंशिएट करने के लिए?
या सो सबसे पहला बहुत अच्छा आपने सवाल पूछा, एंड इट विल हेल्प others also in a way, whether the papers are able to clearly outline the novelty, uniqueness of their idea. So if you are reading a good paper, you will be able to identify very easily what is the novelty, what is the uniqueness of that particular paper. In a mediocre paper, in not so good paper, you will read the whole paper and you will not be able to identify the novelty of that paper. It may be the same paper which you have read, let's say 1 year back, but maybe slightly in a different language style. So that is one important thing. The second important thing about good and bad paper is their critical review of literature. So how critically the literature review is done. In most of the papers, unfortunately in India, review of literature is more like a ritual. So it is not adding value to the paper. But when you read papers in Journal of Management, when you read papers in Academy of Management, when you read when you read journals in FT50 category, you will find that it is all about review which is directing the entire paper. So literature review, how that is being done, how critically is being done, that is another differentiating factor between good paper versus not so good paper. Then third is the strong data, that whether the data is really collected from the right population or not. Let me tell you what I mean by right population. One of the girl under me, she is trying to work in the area of forced displacement. That I want to see the entrepreneurial intention of those people who are refugees, who are displaced from their home locations. Now she said, sir, I will start working with the data collection from local Tibetan people available in Roorkee. So in Roorkee, we have a small Tibetan market. And so they are from Tibet, and they are my sample to start the data collection. I said that we want to collect data from forced displacement people, those who have forced from their homeland, and because of war or because of disaster, they have to migrate to some other place. These Tibetan people are living from generation to generation in this city, and they are not forced migrants. They came because of business opportunity. They came because of better life at this place. So if I collect data from a wrong source, even if there is enough data, but it will not give me the right conclusion. So the third is the quality of data it should be strong data. That is another very important point. And finally, the thought-provoking discussion. So in the discussion, generally what we do, whatever quantitative analysis you have done, you explain the same quantitative analysis that we got this much Cronbach alpha, so the test is reliable, so this relation stands with this relation. So this is how we generally write in the discussion part of the paper in normal. But in a good journal, in a quality journal, if you read a paper, the discussion part must be thought-provoking discussion. So that is how I have given you 4 pointers. One is the novelty of the paper. The second is comprehensive critical literature review. Third is strong data. And fourth is thought-provoking discussion, recognizing what actual limitation of your work and what is the practicing guidelines related to that particular work. So these are, I think, can be the broad differentiating factors between good and bad papers.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir. That's a wonderful explanation. Just a, I would say, it may be a silly question, but yes, but on behalf of our learners or students, what happens then when they are coming for the field study or empirical study, the kind of questions, what is the actual standard expectations, not only with respect to the professional requirement, but also with respect to the practical aspect, feasibility, and acceptance by the subjects for that particular questionnaire in terms of field study. And because most of the students who are coming in the social sciences with their questionnaires and then sometimes it becomes very compulsive to respond even, or the student get very problems, a lot of problems in collecting this. Now, what is the reason behind that, and what should they do with respect to their questionnaire?
So, dear students, this is again a very common practical problem that we use questionnaires which have 2 issues. One, most of the instruments for data collection which we use are not from Indian context. These are developed in America or Europe or some other places. We use those as it is in our context. So that is the biggest limitation. First, please try to understand that management or all these social science issues are very much context specific issues. So you cannot borrow some construct as it is, which is developed in some other context to Indian context. So the contextualization, adaptation of scales is very, very important. Adaptation of those questionnaires is very important. Second thing is, we are now in a very rapidly evolving world. If there is a questionnaire about fintech, मुकेश जी अगर आप किसी को म्यूट कर दें तो अच्छा रहेगा, ये पांचाल कोई बोल रहे हैं. So if I am using a questionnaire of fintech, I have seen many researches in India happening on fintech these days because it's a very hot area in our country, and the way we have moved in UPI, digital transactions, etc., we are a record to the world. But the questionnaires for fintech related studies we are using of 1992. Now you see that at that time there was no fintech in our country. There was no, you see, so the questionnaire says that are you aware of digital transactions? Are you aware of mobile phones? Do you use mobile phones? Now, if you use this type of questionnaire right now, it has no meaning. Even your domestic help, she has a mobile phone. The bhutta wala sitting on the road, he has a mobile phone. You go to Chardham Yatra has started in our state. You may be all from other than Uttarakhand. So you go to Badrinath, Kedarnath. तो वहां पर जो भीख मांगने वाला है वो भी मोबाइल फोन से क्यूआर कोड से अपना भीख ले सकता है आपसे आज की तारीख में. So the digital penetration has gone so well in our country. And if you are using a questionnaire which says that are you aware of UPI? Do you have a mobile phone? Do you have a mobile phone with internet connection? So this research will need nothing. There is no use of this research. So we need to ask much higher level questions if I am doing research on fintech. So scales, unfortunately, और problem क्या होता है that in journals, me and you are the reviewers. Many times, if you have used this kind of outdated scale and write a paper using those outdated scale, it may get accepted also. You see, the entire process is not very objective. It may happen sometime that your paper may get rejected in slightly lower tier journal and may get accepted in slightly higher tier journal. So it is all possible. ये कोई बिल्कुल pure science नहीं है paper का publication होना किसी journal में. And then we feel that yes, even though we used a scale of 1992, a paper got published using that research scale in 2026. So आपको तो एक स्टेप मिल गया कि आपका काम सही हो गया क्योंकि आपको लगता है कि लेकिन it is just a random yes. It is not that your the work is actually a knowledge enhancement in the field, and therefore in this time, it is very, very important that developing new skills and those skills which are more contextualized to our requirement. So, जहां पर आप बहुत स्टैंडर्ड स्किल्स यूज करते हैं ऐसे डायनेमिक एनवायरनमेंट में जहां पर चीजें बहुत तेजी से बदल रही हैं एंड वेयर द स्केल इज नॉट फॉर आवर कॉन्टेक्स्ट देयर मे बी वेरी हाई चांसेस that your paper may not be accepted in top ranking journals. So because they understand that you have followed a very mechanical process of doing the research and writing the research paper, you need to go beyond that mechanical process. You need to use your intellect for developing the research paper. So unless until you use that intellect, your paper will not be accepted. So papers are not accepted just by following a mechanical process. It requires a lot of intellectual input into that writing and publication activity, and that is what Dr. Similty wanted to bring to the forum, that following a standard template will not help you to reach to the top level. It may help you to fill in the blanks of your CV. आपको कहीं ना कहीं उससे कुछ पेपर छप जाएगा because every year thousands of papers are written and there are hundreds of journals also. Somewhere you will be able to fit your paper, but you will not be enjoying that experience. You will only enjoy that experience. I always used to say to my students that if there is a platform, you should be able to explain your research over 2 hours, 3 hours, 4 hours, whatever is the time. But if there is no time, and if I ask you to explain your research in just two statements, two sentences, you should have that capability also. So, and this flexibility, this resilience is only possible when you have done something of your own. तो आपको पता है कि 2 लाइन में अगर मुझको बोलना है तो मैं किस तरीके से अपनी बात को लिख सकता हूँ या बता सकता हूँ, और अगर मुझको मौका मिलेगा कि 1 घंटे अपनी रिसर्च के ऊपर बोलना है तो मैं 1 घंटे भी बोल सकता हूँ. तो इस तरीके का जब कॉन्फिडेंस आपके पास आ जाएगा, आई थिंक यू विल बी एबल टू पब्लिश इन बेस्ट जर्नल्स ऑफ द वर्ल्ड. देयर इज नो डाउट इन दैट. बट हम बहुत सारा लिखते रहते हैं, लेकिन हमारी अपनी रिसर्च क्या है वो हम बता ही नहीं पाते हैं. हम सब इधर उधर की कहानी ज्यादा लिख देते हैं कई बार. तो आपकी राइटिंग में कितना फोकस है ये काफी इंपॉर्टेंट है. और वो फोकस ही जो बात मैं अभी मुकेश जी पूछ रहे थे कि वो जो आपकी नॉवेल्टी और यूनिकनेस है, वो जितना आप क्रिस्प लिखेंगे उतना जल्दी कोई आदमी समझ जाएगा कि इस पेपर का क्या नॉवेल्टी है.
Thank you, sir. Thanks a lot. Wonderful discussion. And we started with enjoying the research, and we are concluding with enjoying the research. That's a wonderful thing for us. As you know, it has been a great experience, sir, for learning with you. We want to listen to you for endless time, maybe. But yes, there is always a limit of a particular timings, and we are very happy and we are very proud that yes, we could get your time and enlightening words. So, dear learners, uh, on behalf of our team Academic Writing, I warmly humbly thank Professor Rajat Agrawal for his enlightening words. Please do remember his words. Yes, enjoy your research. That whatever we are doing, we must, especially with respect to research, until it is done with passion, it won't be possible to take it to a particular outcome. The publication is a very small outcome for that thing. Publication not the entire outcome or entire world for a researcher. It's just a part of that. Where with resilience, patience, passion, and enjoying the research, we hereby conclude our this live session. And dear learners, please do post your queries at the discussion in the discussion forum. We will be answering your queries. And thanks a lot, sir. Pranam. और अंतिम आपका कोई आपका आशीर्वचन, please, sir. Over to you before leaving.
So I'm done. I'm done. So I want all of these people to become excellent researchers. I should be getting their papers through you whenever they publish. So not only publication is important, but dissemination of knowledge through various social media channels also very important. So whenever you publish in good journals, please do post in LinkedIn, Facebook, Insta, so that because why I'm saying that. There may be some journals which are subscribed through one nation, one subscription policy, but there are large number of journals which may not be available. So at least you have to spread word about your good publication so that people should know. And Semilty ji ने जरूर बताया होगा आपको that productivity of our paper is also a very important metrics these days. So how many citations and other things you are getting. So it will help boosting your profile. So people should know about your publication, and please share your publication. Now we are a very large community of around 8,000 learners. So if you can post your papers whenever you publish in this group, you will automatically get many citations for your work. So this is a great platform which Dr. Similty and his team has created, and use it for your benefit also, so that it really becomes a big movement in our country. All the very best to all of you.
Thank you, Rajat sir. Thanks a lot. And again, lastly,
sir,
I would like to.
may I ask for one question, sir?
Please. Pucho Mukesh.
Yes, sir. There is one question in chat box, sir, directed to Rajat sir. The utility of AI tools for enhancing the productivity of academic writing, productivity and quality.
Yeah, so you see, I will only recommend the use of AI tools for the purpose of improving your language. Otherwise, AI tools sometimes backfires also. For example, there are, I will not say about this course, but in many places, I know that students do literature review through AI, which is one of the most dangerous use of AI, I feel, because there is a process of hallucination, and many times some kind of non-existent resources are created
Hypothetical
by
resources.
yeah, hypothetical resources are created, imaginary resources are created which are not real life existing. So you when once you write your you can say manuscript, use it for language editing purpose, so that is acceptable, because many journals are also having this policy these days that you have to declare the use of AI in your manuscript. So if you are able to means obviously you need to have your own critical idea, you need to collect data on your own, you need to do analysis on your own. But once you are writing your manuscript, and why I'm suggesting that, because English is not our mother tongue, so we cannot write with that fluency in English. Some of us can write. I'm not denying that it's not a universal statement, but majority of us, because we may have Bangla, we may have Odia, Marathi, Tamil, Telugu, Hindi, whatever may be the mother tongue we have. So for improving our language proficiency in this case, you can actually use AI tools. So that is where I see that you can use AI.
Thank you, sir. And this we very much clear that for language proficiency, or you can say for the language improvement, AI tool using AI assisted tool is okay, but AI generative tools not okay. You can take the help. Nowadays, even the Microsoft Office is AI assisted tool. So
Yes.
So please do preserve your academic integrity. I always quote that it is utmost essential that papers की दौड़ में अपने चरित्र को संभाल के रखिए. Academic integrity और research integrity को जो है संभाल के रखना बहुत जरूरी है. With this concluding remarks, सर बहुत बहुत धन्यवाद आपका. और जाते जाते भी आपने अपने जो लास्ट जो मीटिंग के कंक्लूडिंग वर्ड्स में भी एक नई बात को आगे की बात को भी लिख कर दिया कि हाँ भाई कि वी मस्ट शेयर our work in and focus also on the citation part, at least disseminating whatever the research we have done so that it reaches to the target researchers basically. Okay, thank you sir, बहुत बहुत धन्यवाद आपका. बहुत बहुत धन्यवाद. प्रणाम. शुभ रात्रि.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much.
Good evening, sir.
Thank you.
Namaskar.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir. So I'm hereby concluding and stopping the recording now. And yeah, so thank you, friends.